남기웅, 태자, 윤영수, 스페셜, 후안 로페즈, 스태치, 김대영. 아프리카 TV 브레이크업 스튜디오 라이브 2020 GSL 시즌 코드 S 쇼다운.
Okay, it's mirror matchup time. PvP and then TVT. Now, just judging from how well Hurricane played versus TaeJa, I mean, I know this is a different matchup now, but Hurricane looks very strong. He looks very modern in the way he's playing. But Stats is such a well-rounded PvP player.
Yeah, his Stats is very, very good at PvP a lot of the time. I don't know what to expect here, to be honest, though, because PvP, you know, a lot of it is build orders and just kind of where you choose to put things. Does your opponent actually scout where you proxied and things like this? So, yeah, I'm not entirely sure what this will end up looking like, and I don't really even have a favorite here. I could absolutely see it going either way.
I agree. It's a tough one to call, but it should be an exciting match. Going into this, again, this is the last group. This is Group F in the round of 24. After today's show, we have the group selections. That's why we started early here. But one of these two players is going to get that second spot in the round of 16. Let's see if it's Hurricane or Stats.
전투 준비 완료. 퍼포먼스로 앞서가는 LG 울트라 기어와 넘버원 에너지 드링크 핫식스가 이번 전투를 지원한다고. 브레이브 스타 게임 허리케인 남기웅. 아프리카 프렉스 스태치 김대영.
And now we wait. Where will they hide their tech? What will their tech be?
Where will their pylons go? Only time will tell.
Yes, will they find each other's tech?
Will they not?
If they don't find it, did they counter it anyways?
Will their plans go perfectly, but two adepts get in their base before they block it, and they lose all their probes and lose the game anyways?
These are the questions.
Only time will tell. This is PvP.
Oh, I love it.
So in this case, we've got Stats here in the upper left with his hidden pylon.
Yeah, it's definitely not a robo location. Could be either of the other techs, though.
Yeah, maybe a Twilight Council, maybe a Stargate. There we go, Stargate it is. It's funny the way proxies work in StarCraft 2. I think because the game accelerates. You know, if we compare it to the way StarCraft 2 looked when it first came out, like the number of workers you have and kind of where we're at now, the game scoots along pretty quickly, you know?
It does.
It's kind of like...
It's almost got rug burn on its tushy. It scoots so quickly.
That's right, yeah. It's things are moving quite fast, and so even if you proxy, most of these maps are big enough that there's a chance they still don't find it.
Yeah.
I think in a lot of the older StarCraft 2 games, when we just had a different worker count, you know, it takes time for the game to get momentum. I mean, especially if you look at StarCraft 1 where you get 4 workers, even though there's a lot to do in the early game, it takes a while to build up, right? So in the current state of StarCraft 2, because things are moving so quickly, you end up getting a proxy, and you don't always end up spotting it, but this time around he does. Are you laughing at me, Artosis?
I'm laughing at you.
You just realized I have sweatpants on?
That you're wearing your you know, the dress-up clothes that we have to wear up top, and then you're wearing sweatpants.
Yeah. Well, actually, there's a little bit of a story behind this I will share. Now that
Tasos is a slob and a loser.
And he just reached in my pockets are full of potato chips. Like, Jesus, man. No, I actually rode my bike my bicycle to work here. But these were the pants I wore to ride the bike because I don't have like bicycle guy pants to show off my amazing thigh muscles and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I got here, but I couldn't. It took me a little bit longer than I thought because I couldn't quite figure the route to get to the studio once I got close to. Because you know the city's split in half by a river, Seoul is, and so I go on the river for a beautiful bike ride. But then I got here just in time, and so I didn't change my pants. I had them in my backpack. I had like cool normal civilian pants that you wear. You know,
no, I like you.
You could wear them out. You know, when you're having fun with friends, you could wear them when you're casting a game of StarCraft. But I didn't have time to change them, so I'm here in sweatpants.
No, I like it though, because now you look like I think you look.
This is what I look like from the waist down when I stream. Yeah. Where I'm like, okay, everything's comfortable, everything can breathe.
Let's take a look at this game. All right.
All right.
He caught the
Please
Stargate.
try to avert your eyes from my sweatpants just for a second, so we can do what we need
so
to do.
majestic.
Yes.
It's hard,
Yeah.
but I'll do my best.
Yeah.
Okay, so Hurricane down a little bit in the probes. His Nexus is a bit later here. He's going into Blink, adding that Forge. So we should be seeing a more gateway-centric approach out of him. And hopefully, in his case, a quicker third Nexus. Because that's generally how this is going to need to line up. Because Stats, of course, is going into his Immortal Tech. And that's going to give him a stronger army over time.
Now, as far as control goes for these two guys, because I want to say, first of all, Hurricane's got like he's got a really modern approach. He's pretty sharp as far as when he like attacks and comes in here. But I would still, if I had to rank these guys, put Stats a little bit ahead, especially when the fights are bigger.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we talk about him reacting, but it's also like, and I think we saw this mostly highlighted in Game 1 against Special. You know, where it was like, oh, Special set up everything perfectly, and Stats was patient enough to drag the game out for a few more seconds to get the right kind of counterattack to then seesaw the game back into his favor.
Yeah.
So if we get into a longer and longer and longer game, I'm really curious to see how these two are going to look again, because I would still put Stats out of everybody in this group. It's probably the best. It just engages with huge armies.
Yeah, that makes sense. I couldn't really argue that. Stats right now, by the way, getting Counter Blink and getting a Prism as well. Kind of interesting that he's chosen Blink as his upgrade.
What do you think about Hurricane taking a third at the same time having a proxied gate?
Well, I think he needs to threaten attacking, and I know that he needs to have a third base up before his opponent does, because if you are not on the Immortal Tech, you need to have a bigger economy, because their army will actually be more cost efficient.
You can see Stats scrambling to get back and get ready to defend, but you know, Stats has his own way of defending and attacking here. This opening by Hurricane is intended to put pressure onto the entrance while keeping the third safe, but the Warp Prism's going to be out, and this is not I mean, you can blink in the main. That is possible, but I don't think it's that wise to do. I think it's pretty easy to hold off, and so let's see what Stats does with his own Warp Prism moving out now.
Yeah, bringing a couple of depths over towards that third and natural location.
Stats is close to finishing Blink, which is going to allow him to have some counterplay here.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. That is just out of vision. Whoa!
Wow, that Blink on top of everything.
Yeah.
He tries to get the Immortals. He ends up picking off one here, but is this actually good for Hurricane?
I'm not sure, actually. It seemed like he got the Immortal, but he lost enough Stalkers that it kind of evened out anyways. Another sentry goes down. Now, again, when they have Blink, oh my god, two Adepts are going to get over here and just keep killing workers. If this is shift-click down, this is so much damage. The launching pad for the Harass is being taken out now by Stats. And I think Stats wants to just tip the scale here and go across to his opponent's side of the map and do a beatdown here. I mean, Stalkers with Blink alone are never going to be good against Stalkers and Immortals when those Stalkers also have Blink.
But he has gotten charge, right? So unless Stats has that critical mass, which it looks like he might have.
I think he actually has that critical mass, dude.
Yeah, it does look that way, especially considering he has some sentries in here. Well, those were not very good force fields, but he blinks in on top and actually picks that off. Not quite enough Zealots here for Hurricane.
He blinks on top of the Warp Prism. I was wondering if that was going to be a good decision, but I think at the end of the day, am I wrong? Stats still has enough, right?
He has just barely enough right now.
Yeah, it looks like for all the tactics that were attempted to be used by Hurricane, Stats had the bigger number, and so while his stuff was just attacking, it actually let him take the full advantage. Takes out the pylon, no warpins, will take out the Nexus, the tech, propelling stats further forward in this game. As he, yeah, this is just gonna get worse and worse, I believe, for Hurricane.
Yeah, stats takes game number 1 there. I mean, a fine try there from Hurricane. Not quite able to do it. I think the counter blink was kind of an interesting choice from stats. It's something we don't see that often nowadays. That was like the norm back in Heart of the Swarm, for instance. If your opponent went blink, you'd go slightly later blink with like a little bit better tech and be in a good spot a lot of the time if you didn't take too much damage early on. And to see him kind of bring that back out, I can't remember the last time I saw a game that looked like that one.
Eternal Empire will be map number 2. That was a short but sweet game. Stats, I think, showing that he can kind of keep it all together in a PvP. I mean, there's a reason why at points in time he was the best Protoss in the world. You kind of got to be ready for anything. And even though we think of Stats as sort of a withdrawn, reactive player, he is more than comfortable playing an action-packed slugfest in a mirror matchup like this and doing completely fine. Hurricane, though, did look strong, but it's going to need to tweak that style a little bit. Game 2 is loaded up. Let's go. Hurricane versus Stats, continuing on.
전투 준비 완료. 브레이브 스타 게임, 허리케인, 남기웅. 아프리카 프렉스, 스태치, 김대영.
Guys, it's good to have you with us here for another GSL day. We do have an after show here. We're going to get to see the group selections and get to see what the next phase of our tournament is going to look like. That will be in English for you, so please don't turn off the stream.
Yeah, and it is actually always really fun and kind of fun.
Yeah.
Seeing the pro gamers, they all have known each other for so long. At this point, there's a lot of trash talk.
I think some people kind of just look at the games, but it's also really fun to see how the players interact. I mean, they all have opinions on each other and each other's play styles, and you know, I mean, there's a real human element, and I think we're one of the few shows and tournaments that really get to capture that with these group selections here, where so much of this is just loud music and lights and kind of isolated player interviews. I mean,
I guess you don't really see things like the group selection in other games now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
And what would Counter-Strike teams say about each other? Like, oh, we have more tattoos than they have?
They'd
like, what does that mean?
They would be like, their aim isn't as good as ours. I bet you guys can't defuse the bomb as quickly as we can. Stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So definitely tune in to the group selection afterwards. I think
you say what you want. I actually like CS:GO, but
I like CS:GO too.
But I will never not make fun of any game, including StarCraft. I will always be ready to jump on anything. I bet your grenade throwing isn't as clever as our grenade throwing is.
Oh, the proxy robo.
But now I'm imagining the reverse of this, where they were like, yes, but tasteless. I mean, you guys are basically like, I can make more units than you can. I bet I can mine more minerals than you.
I love your half Swedish, half German accent that you just pulled out. It's amazing. Yeah. It started off Swedish.
My mutant European accent.
That's what they sound like too. That's what they would say.
Get him! Yeah!
I love it. Oh man. Okay, so Immortal on the way for stats right now. He's doing a very, very strong build that counters his opponent pretty darn well. This is going to be scary here for Mr. Hurricane.
Yeah, that's Dr. Hurricane to you.
Yeah, this is kind of the build that throws the wrench into everything in PvP as well. The proxy robo. It just packs such a ridiculous punch. What are those sentries going to do, Tasteless? Nothing, because there's
nothing.
Gonna shine their flashlights.
You know what
at
he's
us.
saying right now? He's saying, hey, Hurricane, I bet your micro's not as good as mine is. Right? Am I doing it?
You're doing
Yeah.
it.
Okay. The batteries are about to finish. And we are going to kick this off. Now, there's a superior probe count here for Hurricane, but Stats sacrifices a number of workers to have an advantage. Force field coming down here, buying a little bit of time.
Yeah, that force field was fantastic. That is exactly the type of move that he needs. Zoning him out really, really well right now.
But he's not done. He's continuing to warp in. Looks like he wants to get right over here to this bottlenecked area. Stays on top of the shades, canceled.
He's got to be careful here because there's going to be an Immortal popping out.
Oh, it got through. Okay, and kind of an odd moment there. Stats is going to elevator that all over there.
Well, he needed to go. Like,
yeah.
He needs to get this done because now there's an Immortal out.
Yeah.
Right?
Hurricane may
scary.
have bought some more time.
There is Disruptor tech on the way, though, so that kind of makes this interesting again, right? Especially against this big clump of sentries. You bring a Disruptor in here out of nowhere, things can go very wrong.
Whoa, he commits.
All right, picks him up after picking a couple of sentries off. Pretty good. I'm surprised he did not move in and do anything right there. It felt like that was a great opportunity to like at least pick off a shield battery or something like that.
Remember, the probe count still exceeds Stats as far on Hurricane side here.
I'm here in the shadows.
Oh, is he just going to go for the sentries again? No. You can see, yeah, he faked him out there. Hurricane did the pickup.
Popping things in and out of prisms right now.
Got to be careful. And one Disruptor coming out here. Now, this could really change the entire dynamic of the fight because you can basically, you're no longer trying to actually break them. You can actually just stay, like, keep this as an out, as an outpost. Chuck disruptor balls in there.
If he hits one, it might be a game-winning situation.
Yeah, he might be able to just go in there for a kill move.
Yeah, like, especially if it's on those sentries and zealots and everything, that would be just the perfect situation.
So he can force him the movement to come out in a certain way. Where's that disruptor ball?
It's inside, and here it comes. Oh, drops it out, picks it back up.
We're going to need to see that used here.
Are we?
Are we not?
It's just going to sit there, maybe.
What is that, just like the cherry on the top of the army? What are we doing?
This is the most patient disruptor I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Oh, he actually gets 2 stalkers with it. The thing is, that could have been its second shot, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm just so surprised it was, I don't know if it was just inactivity or patience or what it was. I have a hard time describing that. Here we go again, but he cannot get all of the Immortals. That's very important. 3 Immortals is not going to fit in 1 Warp Prism, and now he goes in for the pursuit. Just 2 Immortals with shields now. 1 is picked off. All that's really remaining here for a Hurricane to hang on is this Warp Prism that allows him to juggle. And the batteries go down as well.
Oh my god, those 2 Immortals, after that Disruptor shot goes off, just jump in on top of everything.
No anti-air here for Hurricane to try to fight the Warp Prism. Giving this Warp Prism here for Stats so much freedom to move. Oh my, we need to
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Delayed
5
reaction
kills.
there.
That's sick.
Yeah.
That actually gives Stats a work relief
now
at
he's
that
ahead.
point. That's funny.
This whole game was leading up to this moment, Artosis. And quietly behind the Stats expands, although Stats is going to continue to have disruptors come across here. This causes a problem for Hurricane because it's hard to be out on the map and be aggressive since there's not a whole lot you can do. I mean, you can see here, he still has an army to fight this, but with the Warp Prism gone, you can't juggle up, for instance, Immortals against the Disruptors. So kind of like an old school Reaver drop almost.
He's actually running in and chasing away the Prism right now, but the Immortals can actually shoot down all of the Stalkers.
The greatest thing in the game is 2 Immortals and a Warp Prism.
What about Baneling Stasis?
All right, Artosis. Wow, that didn't hit anything. Oh.
Yeah, he's very low on health on that as well, but I think you have to take these types of risks as well.
Recalling it back here.
Oh!
Dodging the lasers. Oh my god.
That Immortal is playing with fire.
Yeah, no kidding.
These guys, you see what they're doing?
Look at this, Warp Prism speed coming now. This has been a great game so far here.
It's a wild one. It's felt like Hurricane has been winning the entire time.
Our pylon is under attack.
And I think that is the case. Oh, he's even throwing out a Stargate. How do you ever stop that?
Hold up. Another big drop here. Can he actually get any workers here? He does take out 2 probes.
A little bit of damage. Yeah, this attack coming in, he doesn't have recall ready.
He also
now, Speed is about to finish for his Prism.
He doesn't have a Robo either now. That was picked off since it was proxy there. Oh, what?
Isn't that funny?
The Adepts that have been dieting managed to...
Oh my god, oh my god.
Oh,
he has potential here.
Oh, here we go! Oh,
wow.
That was so sick.
That was insane shots.
But is it enough? He's going to try to push through even further here.
Well, he's got the additional shield batteries. He's going to get another couple volleys of it pretty soon.
It's undeniable that there's going to be another disruption.
Oh, he targets the Prism, but the Prism gets back to shield battery range.
He's continuing to run. Okay, that should... Oh, man, that was so close.
Ooh. This is a wild game. Hurricane right now is up in workers. We do have that Speed Prism Disruptor tech, though.
Oh, man. Now he's going to get the Immortals here.
Is he?
So crazy. Yeah,
maybe
he actually picks it up.
Maybe it is the Immortals in the Prism that's the best unit. I mean, it's 2 units, but it's, like, pretty damn good.
But they work as one.
They do.
When they are together.
It's like a Reaver. You never think of a Reaver alone. It's always a shuttle.
Yeah. It's
the thing is, I think of Immortals alone. I think of them with Prisms. I think of them with Charge Lots. I think of them with Adepts. I think of them with Sentries. I think of them with Carriers.
Yeah.
You know? Or alone. Alone as well.
They're fine alone.
Yeah. No, anything they want.
They're not great against slings, I guess, but you know.
You know what?
Yeah.
I bet you they're actually great against slings. If we did some math on it.
Yeah, I'd be like, yeah, the value there is still there.
Yeah.
So, more damage coming down here. And, by the way, Stats is economically starved here. 18 workers.
Ooh, not so good. Now Phoenixes are going to come over and really ruin his day even more.
Oh, dude.
Oh,
wow.
He needs to recall if he doesn't have a recall.
Recall.
That was a really smart move.
Yeah, that was some S-class play. Yeah. That was so cool. He's like, well, I will lose this, but I will not lose.
Yeah, and then you just recall it all after that. That's beautiful. I love it.
Did Stats get to remake a Robo? I don't think he did.
No, I don't think so.
So there no more War Prisms.
Who needs it?
Well, I think Stats does.
Oh, yeah. Who needs it?
Yeah. He can't micro these units anywhere near as well.
Okay. The Phoenixes being out, I feel like that's actually really, really strong right here. Especially when you have this many Mortals. I think you can actually, like, it's a very alpha star thing to do, but just make a bunch of Phoenixes from here.
Mm-hmm. I think it's
your
smart.
opponent, the last thing he wants to do is make a bunch of Stalkers without Blink.
Yeah.
That is, like, the dumbest, worst thing.
Oh, he can actually disable all these Stalkers, right? Yeah, here we go.
How many? Look at this, 7 kills, and they're all Stalker kills.
Can he do this and also get out in time? I think so.
Ooh. Painful. I think it's time for Stats to throw down 2 of his own Stargates. It's the only way to counter 1 Stargate is the 2 Stargate stasis.
Maybe. We have a Colossus coming here for Stats.
Huh. Yeah,
despite the fact that Phoenixes are still out, I guess Phoenixes aren't great against Colossus.
Yeah, they're more of a counter against the other
Robo units. They can, like, hit the Colossus, but I don't... Yeah.
It doesn't really do that much damage, though. They'd rather lift something than take away some Colossus shields. So not too bad. Hurricane going into his own higher Robotech. But wait a minute, he's still making Phoenixes. Like, what does he even want to make with this? Normally you want, like, Charge Archon Immortal with Phoenixes. That's right, because you kind of disable all their powerful Robo units with your Phoenixes.
Sure.
So I'm not sure what that tech is for him.
Both players have increased their worker count, but again, it's been Hurricane basically in the lead, and that's why we see his stats higher, basically in every sense. Doesn't mean that Stats can't win, but Stats has to figure something out here.
Yeah, I think the Colossus play is not a bad idea, because doesn't he have to go all in from here?
Well, I think it's, the Colossus play also removes a lot of the finesse from the Phoenixes.
Yeah.
You know?
He needs that extra output of damage, that steady output. A lot of Phoenixes out there, too. But with the disruptors that are being made, actually, from Hurricane, now that I'm thinking about it, it's really quite nice.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to counter Colossus. It's going to do fine against other disruptors. Like, Stalkers without Blink against disruptors are pretty darn bad. It's not what you're looking for. That is the second time we saw exactly that.
No, it's fine. It's fine. He's got this. Okay, so the third base is taken, and now Stats has to make some decisions. Excuse me. Will he take a third of his own, or does he try to do a timing push and just go for the closer? I mean, we have Adept Glaives coming, which tells me he won't be pushing right away. I mean, this is kind of a... We're getting Glaives at the 15-minute marker, at least starting the upgrade, which is kind of crazy, but...
That is...
that means the push is still a ways away. I don't think he wants to harass either because there's so many Phoenixes out. You're just going to lose that. But Stats sees what's going on. There's an observer over this area. Oh, no.
Tell you, this is a couple of the wonkiest unit comps I've ever seen.
Oh,
he finally got the sentries. Congrats. Finally did that. But yeah, look at this. Oh my god. Stats, I don't think so. I don't think this is going to work. Can you imagine his army actually winning this?
No, I really can't. And this is still a factor, too. And at this point in time, he says, oh yeah, see, look at that.
Yeah.
He just taps out. He knows. I was going to say, that little attack there was just to say, come back home. Come back home and deal with this.
Yeah.
I'm just going to get further and further to winning. Hurricane playing masterfully. A beautiful PvP there. And now we go to game 3.
Yeah, okay. Nice tight series between these two. That, you know, I think Hurricane played so well against the Robo Push. Stats tried to come up that little tiny ramp, and he took so long. Like, if you're going to do that build, you have to hit them and deal your damage before their Immortals out. Because when they have an Immortal, suddenly all you have over them is a Prism, and then eventually they're going to have a Prism. And then what do you have over them, Tasteless? Less probes and not a Nexus? Sick.
Sick. Game 3 is going to be the deciding game here. One of these two players is going to move on to the round of 16. There's only 2 spots remaining. Either Stats or Hurricane. It's looking to be a very even PvP. Who do you think takes it, Artosis?
Stats.
I feel like Stats is supposed to take it.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it.
But Hurricane could definitely do it.
Yeah. It is PvP, man. Sometimes the build order is just going to get you.
Yeah, you could be pretty cheesy in this matchup as well. Anyways, guys, tell your friends to join us here on Group F. The last day of the round of 24, we have the group selection. After this is over, Hurricane vs. Stats Game 3 starts now.
전투 준비 완료.
브레이브 스타 게임, 허리케인, 남기용. 아프리카 프렉스, 스태츠, 김대영.
All right. You know what we've been missing in this series so far?
What?
2 Adepts ruining the day.
Yeah, this is supposed to be PvP.
In a best of 3, you should have at least one game where they miss putting down the shield battery or pylon.
Yeah, and it just
where the
gets
Adepts
in there.
just end the game.
That's where I fist pump. I'm like, this is my kind of StarCraft.
Yeah.
Artosis, you going to be streaming tomorrow?
Of course. Well, actually, Pylon show tomorrow.
Pylon show tomorrow.
Where we will be talking about the new patch that was announced, which is a huge patch. We're going to have on TLO, Estrella, and maybe Juan. It depends whether he wins his matches or not.
He feels like coming on the show or not.
I asked him this morning. He said it's going to matter. But he didn't say which way it matters, so I don't.
Yeah, maybe it's
we're
like
gonna see.
He loses, and then he's like, "Well, now I got to go on the show."
Yeah,
whatever.
It's like,
it
well,
takes.
I'm not winning any more money in GSL this season. Gotta do it. But yeah, that's what I'll be doing tomorrow.
I'll be streaming some StarCraft tomorrow too, probably after Pylon show's done, or maybe around when you guys are finishing. Because Tasteless is a creature of the night. Right at about 12 in the afternoon, my coffin opens.
Yeah.
And I rise without my knees bending. I just kind of fold up,
Yeah.
you know, with my arms folded.
It'll be a good day. That's what
That's right. And then we actually, after today, guys, we have a week off of casts. ASL's done. Yeah,
6 days.
6 days off. We're not going to be
until,
back until the next Wednesday.
Yeah, that's right. We start the round of 16. I can't wait to see what the groups are, because our racial distribution
Same.
is like really good, and it's a very interesting group of players. We only have like it's mostly players that you look at and you're like, yeah, okay, round of 16, cool, but we're missing a couple real good ones, and we have Bunny in there, which is kind of interesting too. It's a depth shade around TaeJa. We have potential for our dreams to come
That's
true.
right. Here we go. Ah!
I
Sayonara.
love that he has to recall it because he knows the adepts are going to kill it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, that was one of the worst things I've ever seen. Ha! I like making little sound effects when the units are moving around. Ha! They're like chasing them, like, I'm gonna get you!
I'm gonna.
With the adept, the shady way, like,
That's
watch
one of my-
this! Ha!
That's one of my favorite things. I'm gonna get you.
I'm gonna get you. We have a million inside jokes between us. Play like that. I have a whole series of Artosis songs where like he's singing the song.
Yeah.
And, like
They're good.
the best one is the "How does it feel to beat me with no skill?" Like,
Oh, it's so true too.
yeah, I just see you with the guitar there, you know, playing it out.
Dude, this is a lot of adepts stats.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're gonna really do anything.
It's funny watching an Immortal get fought. Get
He's like,
microed with this. He's
Wait,
like,
7 adepts.
yeah.
Drop me! Like, wait, but there's like 7 of them, dude. Drop me now!
Have you seen what I can do to stalkers?
Look at him. He doesn't even micro. He doesn't pick it up. He's like, ah! We're gonna get those adepts. What? Whoa.
Just let me use my arm guns against them.
My arm guns.
That's what he's got. He's got 2 arms. That's why the.
You think that's where they got the idea for Barrett?
Definitely. They definitely a little bit of plagiarism going on there.
Yeah.
Barrett with his minigun arm. How does he even get on an airplane with that? Like, sir, can you check your minigun arm in the luggage?
Not likely. TaeJa.
I did play the remake. I want to point out that you do see Barrett climbing the ladder with just 1 arm. It's very
He
dangerous.
must be a Protoss player. Ah! That was too easy, TaeJa.
It is too easy, Artosis.
So Stats has a little bit of a worker advantage right now. By little bit, I mean like so many more workers.
Yeah. It's got like 35% more.
It's crazy, 35%.
The Warp Prism's going to come in here, though. Let's see if Stats is actually ready for this. Again, the 2 adepts here, always able to punish. I mean, if you're not watching your workers, this will just 2-shot them.
But the double Immortal drop, always a difficult one. The Immortal's going to go back up from Stats.
Can he get the Warp Prism, though? No, he's not targeting it, unfortunately. I love the 1 force build.
Yep. Oh, he's diving on this Immortal.
Did Hurricane actually do it? He might have just put him in a location where it's very hard to defend from. Lots of shield batteries here, though. He's going for that pylon. He doesn't power it.
Oh my god, 3 dead shield batteries is what that means. But does he still have enough, actually?
It's actually not clear.
I think he does, like with the 2 Immortals.
Well, he
powers them.
That's so smart with the Warp Prism. I actually got confused for a second. I'm like, how did he do that?
That's the quickest building pylon there is.
That was pretty cool by Stats.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy.
I feel like he just winked at all of us as he did that. I know lots of Protoss stuff. Okay, another attack comes in here, though. And those batteries are once again not powered. Oh, my God.
Oh,
Stats
is
is
all
back
the way
up.
home.
I think he overestimated how well he held that attack and thought there would never be another dive in.
Oh, my God.
And here we go. There's just not very much to help out. It's going to be Immortals fighting Immortals over here.
Oh, this is a problem, though. Hurricane taking a ton of damage on his Immortals.
Oh my God,
Stats
Stats
is
is
kind
so
of out
good.
microing.
2 Cherry Immortals coming through.
They're deep red.
Yeah. Meanwhile, back at home, Hurricane, not very many workers. Still about 5 behind. But I worry for a counterattack here. It does seem like Stats has shut everything down. Stats does have a superior army. He can also defend any attacks and come across the map with his Warp Prism full of Immortals.
Yeah,
and of
with
course
the Warp
it's
Prism,
very
he's gonna
easy.
get so much damage.
Yeah, the Immortals 2-shot workers, so like, you know, all that hard work not really paying off here. Ouch.
That deals a ton of damage to the Immortal, kills off the Stalker, gets a bunch of probes as well. Everything going very well for Stats here. I don't know what Hurricane came to do to get back.
Yeah, I don't know. Stargate comes here. I mean,
it's reasonable.
I like the idea, but I mean, I think we might be too far out for this. It's crazy.
If you maybe the Prism's over there and he doesn't have the energy for recall or something, if you get like a free kill on the Immortals, right? That's like a start at least. I think it's a reasonable idea. Oh, he lost.
Oh,
lost
man.
both of them.
Both the Immortals are dead.
It gets worse.
And Stats still has the availability of his 2 Immortals inside his Warp Prism. Is there any reason for Stats to try to push out an attack? I mean, he does appear to have a bigger army. I guess Stats is saying otherwise, who probably wants to just try to invest. Oh, this is going to be such a big deal.
Man.
Wow. Again, if you can't stop this...
It just is dealing so much damage.
Well, the thing is, it's just so hard for Hurricane to dig his way out of this hole.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that Phoenix, it would be all right, but unpowering that even. It's the first time I've seen Immortals beat Phoenixes. It's a great way to do it.
Yeah.
Make it so they were never born.
Yeah, he definitely prevented that from having the momentum it needed. And I think Stats is... It's funny because it's been an action-packed, harass-oriented game, but he's showing his patience once more, excuse me.
Yeah, yeah.
He's really saying, okay, no, but I'm just going to keep getting ahead.
Yeah, it seems like he's getting into a position where it's like impossible to lose.
Yes.
He's just making so many units. He's getting some Archons out there.
Yeah.
That's the Phoenix's worst enemy.
He's going to try to just catch this. If Hurricane loses this Warp Prism, by the way, it is going to be time for Stats. Well, I guess he's going to do it anyways, but I was going to say if he does kill that, then there's no reason to not attack across the map. But I think he's saying, TaeJa's I can walk and chew gum, all right? Hurricane's Warp Prism is not that scary to me.
That's it. GG
Wow.
does not even wait for
That
the
was the
attack.
best ending of any StarCraft game.
All right, so Stats advances in first place. It was a tight road, though, right? Like, he went 2-1 against Special with a really epically close game number 3, and then 2-1 against Hurricane with a pretty close series.
Hurricane looking pretty concerned, by the way. We don't have him on camera now, but I mean, he was one game from just being out and being over with this, and now he's got to go back
into the grinder,
into the Snarlack pit.
Yeah. And who knows what if Special comes up and beats him? Special's got some very strong PvP.
Sure,
TPP.
absolutely. We're going to go to an interview now with Stats. Andy will be translating that. Gary will be interviewing. Here we go.
네, 오늘 F조의 1위
Alright, we're gonna have
진출자
an interview
김대엽
with
선수
the first winner
만나보겠습니다.
of Group F.
축하드립니다.
Stats. Congratulations.
네,
Thank you.
자, 승자전 치열한 특허전을
The
통해서
winner's match
진출하게
was definitely a
됐습니다.
fierce
승리 소감
one.
어떠신가요?
How do you feel after the win?
일단 좀
First of all,
올라간 거는 되게 기쁘긴
I'm really
한데
happy that I advanced,
경기력이 제 마음에
but my performance wasn't really that satisfactory.
좀이 부분에 대해서는 좀 집에 가서 생각을
So I'm
많이
gonna have to
해봐야
think about this performance
어디
when I go
어떤
home.
부분에서 좀
So
경기력이
what
마음에 안
aspects about the
드셨어요?
performance were you not satisfied with?
스페셜
First of all,
선수하고의 첫 번째
when I played against Special, In the first set,
저는 사신이 본진에 들어온지도 몰랐어요.
I didn't know the Reaper came into my base.
그걸 그런 사소한 걸 놓칠 정도로
And you know, like all the like trivial
matters
matters, I didn't pay attention to.
기웅이하고의 경기에서도
And when I played against Hurricane,
마지막 세트도 좀 더
in the last set,
깔끔하게 맞고 이길 수
I
있었던
should have played
경기였던
more
것 같은데
immaculately.
좀 질질 끈
But then I
감이
did
있지
drag the
않았어.
game a bit, so
아쉬웠던 것
I need to fix on
네.
that.
오늘 김대엽 선수가 사실 운영의 김대엽인데
Stats, you're normally called the
초반 찌르기
stats
같은
on macro.
선택을 하시기로 했잖아요. 어떤 배경이 있으셨나요?
So what's the background
이게
behind it?
요즘에 그 운영만 하다 보면은
Well,
게임을
recently
이길 수가 없더라고요.
I realized that
그래서
just with macro I
찌르는
can't win the
딜도
game,
같이 섞어서
so I
해야
need to
상대
use some
선수도
pokes
머리가
and harasses.
아프고 그리고 찔렀을 때 또 피해를 주고 시작하면
And when I do harass and like damage my opponent when the game starts, I play on a better advantage.
오늘 이터널 엠파이어 경기 승부를 떠나서 굉장히
In
재미있는
Internal
픽션이었던 것
Empire, it was really fun to
상대가
watch.
확실히 이 난전을 좋아하는 유형인 것 같아요.
You can definitely
그
tell
경기
the
어떠셨나요?
opponent really likes to have skirmishes.
정신이 없어가지고 저도
Well, in that game, I was kind of out of my mind. I was
보호막
busy,
충전소가 3동이나 있으면서 뚫을
and I had 3 shield
사이즈가
batteries,
없더라고요. 그래가지고 되게 좀 이거 이대로 흘러가면은 힘들겠다.
and I knew that the
해서
game would be
분열기도
really
좀
hard for
해가지고
me if this
근데
just dragged
분열기도
on.
못 뚫어가지고 결국에는 패배하게 돼서
And then I
개인적으로 많이 아쉬워요.
did lose the game, so I was
그럼에도
kind of
불구하고
sad.
오늘 참 멋진 컨트롤,
But
좋은
despite that, you showed
보여주시면서
phenomenal micro
16강에
today,
진출하게
and now you
됐습니다.
secure a spot in the round
작년
16.
GSL 본인의 커리어에 비해서는 아쉬운 한 해를
Last year's
보냈는데요.
GSL, compared to your career,
16강
hasn't been a good one.
요즘 폼은 좀 어떠신지
How's your
물어볼 수
form
있을까요?
recently?
일단 연습은 GSL이고 그래가지고 되게 열심히
Well,
하고
I'm practicing really hard for the GSL.
근데 요즘에 좀 테란전
But these days,
저는 자신이 있는데
my
저그전
PvP
같은
matchup's really
경우가
good,
좀 어렵더라고요.
but my
그래서
PvZ, on the other hand, was not that good.
저그전만 피하면은
So as long as I
다른
avoid the
전국전들
PvZ matchup,
다 자신 있는데
other matchups are
근데
fine.
문제는
But there's one
좀 제
problem.
개인적인 문제지만 오늘 같이
It's a private matter.
실수하는 모습 보여주면은 16강에서 살아남기 힘들 것
If I
같아요.
make my small
잘
mistakes
준비해야
like I
될것
did
같아요.
today, I wouldn't be able to survive in the round
저그전이
16.
조금 자신이 없다 말씀을 하셨습니다. 사실 오늘 경기가 끝나고 바로 조지명식이
Well, after
이어지잖아요.
today's match, you actually have
그래서
the group
참 전략을
nomination.
잘 짜야 할 것 같아요.
So you're
오늘
gonna have
어떤
to form
각오로
a good group
임하실 건가요?
today. So how are you gonna do that?
일단 저그를 피하자란 마인드로
Well, one thing
네,
I'm gonna pay attention to is avoiding
저그를
Zerg players.
마찬가지로 피해보겠다 마지막 말씀을 해주셨는데요.
Alright.
자, 오랜만에 오프라인 경기 많은
So this
팬분들이
has been an
좋아하실 것
offline match
같습니다.
in
마지막
a long
한마디
time.
전해 듣겠습니다.
Anything you want to say to your fans?
일단 좀 운도 좀 많이
First of all,
따라주고 이래가지고 16강에 진출한 것 같지만
I did advance because I was quite lucky.
개인적으로도 오늘 경기력이 좀 별로 마음에
But personally,
들지 않아가지고
I'm not
그 부분에
satisfied with my
대해서 좀
performance.
고치려고 노력 많이
So
할
I'm going to
거고요.
fix on that.
네, 앞으로 이제 앞에 있을 조지명 씨 많이 기대해 주세요.
And please do look
네,
forward to the
조지명
group
씨도
nomination that comes up.
기대해보겠습니다. 다시 한번 진출
Once again,
축하드립니다.
congratulations, Stats. Thank you.
네,
Cool.
지금까지 F조의
All right,
1위
we've got
진출자
one
김대엽 선수를
more spot
만나봤는데요.
remaining and
계속해서
3 very
GSL
good
이벤트
players to fight over.
Yeah.
Fight over it.
Yeah, indeed. Special versus TaeJa coming up next. We're going to see just how strong TaeJa's TVT is right now because we know Special is very good at the matchup.
He's in very good form, especially in TVT. TaeJa did not look bad. He just did not look as well-rounded as the other players that are in this group. So I think Special should take it, but I would be very pleasantly surprised if we had an upset and TaeJa did win. And then Hurricane. I mean, he might be able to take the whole thing. We'll just have to see. We got a quick break. When we come back, our losers match. Do not go away.